everybody, and welcome to my Get Ready With Me video. You guys voted and you wanted to see a Get Ready With Me versus a Swatch Fest. But a lot of you, well, at least some of you wanted to see a Swatch Fest. So I do have some new products that I will swatch in a future video. So if you really wanted to see that, don't worry, you will eventually. So this video is just going to be me chatting. I have some questions that people sent in. I'll be answering those as I'm doing my makeup, and I'm just going to do my makeup. And I will be talking about some of the stuff that I'm using, and I haven't really done a video like this, so as far as trying to see what you guys are saying and doing my makeup and talking and all of that, if you have any questions during the process, if I forget to mention something that I'm using and you really want to know, just ask, just speak up. I'm trying to bring up the Facebook video so I can see more questions and stuff from you guys. But anyway, don't be shy. If there's a question, not even about makeup, if you just think of something you want to ask me, you can totally ask me. It's totally fine. We are all friends here. We're just hanging out. It's all good. So I'm going to give people a few minutes to get on as I tidy up and get everything together. I have the makeup that I'm going to use, and I'm just going to go through the process like I would normally do my makeup when I'm getting ready to go somewhere. So, so hopefully I can get a nice dinner out of this. We'll see. So I'm going to do my makeup like normal, and I'm going to go through that process. I have all my stuff here. I got brushes, I got setting sprays, I have primers, I have my water, I have barrettes, I have my damp sponges, I have Kleenexes, I have my little towel that I use for cleaning off brushes or my hands or something. So yeah, I'm just going to give people a little bit longer to get on, and then we'll get started. But let's see, what else did I want to talk about prior to? Yeah, so don't be shy. If you do have a question, it doesn't have to be makeup related. It can be about anything. I was sorted into Ravenclaw, just so you know. You're not seeing things. I am totally a Ravenclaw. And we're just going to have fun and hang out. So to get started, I'm going to move my bangs out of my way. That's always the bummer about having to, like, doing my hair before I do my makeup, is that eventually it just kind of messes up my bangs. Like, I'll have to redo my bangs. Ah, shoot. The barrette just popped off. Because typically when I do my makeup, I have my hair in like a twisty turban thing, and then I do my hair after I do my makeup. All right, we're going to get started, folks. Like I said, I do have questions here, so in between these steps, when things are drying or setting or whatever's happening, I'll answer some of the questions. I have my phone with a list of stuff. So right now I am using the Skindinavia primer spray. This is the oil control one. I spritz that on first. Woo. So while that is drying, my skin is totally prepped. Otherwise, that means it is clean and mostly hairless and moisturized very, very much. I always prefer to moisturize as much as possible. It just makes everything feel better and all of that jazz. So, especially with using the powder foundation that I use now, the more moisture I have on, the better. I'm going to spritz a little more, actually. So that is, it gets a little, just a little tacky, which is good. And then I'm going to take my rings off while I'm doing this other stuff. So then I use the Dr. Brandt Luminizer Primer. This is a thicker, like, cream primer. You can see it there. So it adds a little bit more moisturizer. When I was using the CC cream, the IT Cosmetics CC cream regularly because it's a liquid foundation, I could get away with kind of a thinner primer, like the Hourglass primer, which worked great with that. But when I went to Georgia, as you guys know, the liquid foundation was just not working for me, and I had to switch to the powder. And then when I used the powder up here, the powder foundation, the MAC Cosmetics one, we'll get to that. When I switched, I was too dry up here, so I had to start using a thicker primer. I also have a little mirror here, so if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my mirror, and that's just so I can make sure I apply everything well. So I basically just smooth that primer all over. As you guys know, I do have to shave my face because having a thyroid condition messed up my hormones, and it gave me facial hair and all that good stuff. So that's one of my issues that I have to work with. And I do an at-home laser hair removal treatment, and it's actually worked really well. So it's not quite as bad as it used to be. So I just kind of make sure that's all over. And we're going to let that dry for a moment. And while that's happening, I'm going to apply my eye primer, which is the Urban Decay. This is the anti-aging eyeshadow potion. You've probably seen this a million times. I do find that the NYX one works pretty well, but it can be a lot more hardcore. So like if you put the NYX one on, and the NYX one's only like $6, you can get it at Target or Ulta or whatever, but it's way cheaper than this Urban Decay one, which is about 20 bucks, I think. But it is super hardcore and can be kind of drying. So if you're gonna use a more drying like under eye product, or if you already have dry under eyes, the NYX one might be a bit much for you. As far as it's not hydrating or anything, but stuff stays in place. It does do that, at least. It does what it's supposed to do. So, geez, I think I'm running low. I kind of wiggle it around if I need to, and then apply. And like with the Urban Decay stuff, if you apply too much, it can kind of gunk up. So I try to be really careful about how much I apply, and I try to make sure that I blend it out really well. Particularly like up here on the lid in this area, if you apply too much, once you're applying eyeshadow and using brushes and things, it gets really funky looking. I think it just gets kind of dry with all the different things on it, but yeah. Alrighty, and then I apply lip balm. It could be anything. This one happens to be Anoia Peppermint lip balm. It's an organic company, and I got this through Ipsy. It's really, really smooth and hydrating, and you'll see me apply that throughout the makeup process. So after all that is set, I use these primer spray again to go over my whole face. So we're going to let that dry, and we're going to go to our list of questions. So I had some people on Instagram send in some questions, and there were a couple Facebook ones. So let's see, which one do I want to answer first? I had some good questions. So current makeup faves. We'll talk about that a little bit as we go along, I suppose. But obviously, the Scandinavia sprays I still love. I've really been loving the All Nighter, the Urban Decay setting spray. I feel like it works better than the Scandinavia one, even though they're basically the same thing, but some of the ingredients are switched around a little bit. And Scandinavia makes the Urban Decay ones, but my color correctors, which I'm going to use in just a minute, love those. I've been loving the MAC Powder Foundation. It's made my routine so much more streamlined. Like, I don't have to mix the foundation colors and then blend them out and wait for them to dry and then set them with the powder. It's really made my whole makeup routine a bit faster. Other loves, well, I do love the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. It's not a tubing one, but it stays put, which is awesome. I've been loving the new eyeshadows and stuff that I've gotten from Colored Rain. I got a little Natasha Denona palette, so that's something that we'll swatch later on, but that's great too. And then the Tarte, let's see, it's over here. The Tarte Book of Blushes. Oh my gosh, this thing is so awesome. I'm definitely going to take it on vacation. It's got the bronzer and the highlight too. The bronzer can be a little dark for me just because I tend to apply things a little more heavy-handed, but I've been using that a lot. What else are my favorite? I really have so many favorites. The Stila liquid eyeliners, I love those. And then the Kush Milk Kush Fiber Brow Gel is great. This does lighten my eyebrows a little bit so they match my hair a little better. Yeah, I love those things. So thank you for, I don't have who sent the questions in, I just have them all down there, so thank you. Things are dry, so we're going to move on to the color correcting portion of this video. So I use the yellow one for under the eyes. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin color correctors. And I use the green one for the more red parts of my face. Like I said, I do have to shave, so I do have some like irritation and stuff. I think it looks worse on camera than it actually is in person, but anyway. So we're going to do that. I'm looking in the mirror here. You really don't need a lot. I do put it in some spots to kind of brighten also, this yellow one. So you're going to see me kind of paint my face and then go through this whole process. So a lot of the things I'm using today are things that I was using and, you know, still use from our Build Your Face series. So you're going to still see new products, but for the most part, I still have a very similar routine. And again, if you have any questions, please speak up. All right, let's see. I have my beauty blender, and I'm just going to start blending in. These are kind of damp, so they're not super wet, because the more wet they are, the more they're going to kind of smear the product around. But they're damp. If you hear any chitter chattering, it's the boys running around playing. I leave the door open so they can come check on me if they need to. So if you guys haven't checked out my blog post today, it's this cute outfit that I put together for Friendsgiving. I was running around insane that weekend, and I kind of touched on it a little bit in the post. But I had my K2 segment, and then see that end is a little bit more damp. If they're too damp, I take my towel and squeeze them. So I'm gonna have to go back over that a little bit. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So I was running around. I had my K2 segment, and I had to run home and finish packing and grab my stuff, and we went to Tacoma. We grabbed some dinner once we checked into the hotel. Oh, they were really, really good, like banh mi sandwiches with they were like dip sandwiches. So they had a little bowl of, it was basically pho in a little bowl that you dip the sandwich in. It was so good. So we ate that, and I got my clothes ready and all that for the next morning because I had to get up super early. I had to be there at 8 or 9. Well, I think it was a little bit later because my first class didn't start till a little bit later, and I kind of planned it that way because I'm not a morning person in the slightest. but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, then I went to the craft day. It was for the Outlander Fanatics of Washington Outlander group. They do this yearly craft day, and there's all kinds of different classes, and people from the group are teaching these different classes. And you sign up ahead of time, so you can choose what you're going to do. And there's classes happening all the time, so you have to kind of make sure your schedule is good, and you're going to have time to get to each thing. And they had a lot of food. They had snacks and like a big lunch, and everybody was really super nice. It was a lot of fun. I tried to crochet at the Outlandia group's craft day, which was a couple of weeks before that. And I can't crochet to save my life. I tried so hard, and the ladies that were trying to teach me could not understand why I couldn't do it. It was really difficult. I couldn't do it. I did try though, and I was going to practice when I got home, but it was just really confusing to me. But I'd already signed up for the arm knitting class at the Tacoma one, so I was really worried about how that was going to go. We'll use concealer on that. And anyway, it went great. I was really nervous about the arm knitting. It was confusing at first. I needed multiple people to show me how to do it. But once I got the hang of it, it was super easy, and I was a knitting machine, arm knitting like crazy. And I had a really long scarf, and it was really fun. And I've made a couple of scarves since then, scarves. And I made a drum. It was kind of gross because they have to wet the hide, so it's kind of slimy, but it needs to stretch. I didn't like that it was actual animal hide. That grossed me out. But the process was really interesting. I really enjoyed learning how to do it. I thought it was really cool. And the drum sounds great. It has a really good sound to it. I should have brought it in here and played it for you. Maybe next time. But definitely check out that post. So next I'm going in with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I wear the color NC25. I'm running really low, actually. I need to go to Ulta. Maybe I should go to Ulta tonight. Jeez. Because I am running super low. Oh my gosh. Don't run out. Uh-oh. Okay. I needs it. All right. So for me, this is a really great concealer. It does dry down to a matte finish. It doesn't go anywhere. It stays on all day. And it does a good job with coverage. I actually used it. I did is she my sister-in-law? Sort of. I did her makeup for her wedding. It was like 108 outside that day. And I actually used this concealer for her foundation. And she looked amazing when she came to the reception, even though we were all like sweating profusely, and she had been outside in her wedding dress taking photos. She still looked friggin' amazing, and she was so excited about it, and I was excited that everything had gone well. But this stuff holds up really well. Sometimes you gotta, when you get down to the end, you gotta shake it real good to get some out. Oh, I don't want to run out. Shoot, I totally forgot I was low. So because it has really great coverage, I tend to use it around these edges of my face where I have more irritation and redness from the shaving. It just covers up some of those issues a bit better without being like a thicker, heavier application. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. I really wish I could play music while I'm doing some of these things. But Facebook gets mad and is like, you're stealing music from people. And again, I say, I've given the new kids so much money. I don't think it should be considered stealing if I play a song on my freaking Facebook Live. It's not like I'm making any money from this, so this is just me having fun. So I'm running dangerously low on my precious, precious concealer. And that really, really bothers me. And the thingy doesn't really open. You can't really get extra stuff out, which is a bummer. If I hold it like this, will anything come out? Oh man, that really upsets me. All right, I'm gonna have to go to Ulta. All right, we're gonna use that preciously. All right, I'll have to look at some of my questions so I can talk to you while I'm blending things out. Blending always takes a little bit of extra time. But when you prep everything, it's fun to get to the good stuff, and then it goes on better, and everything looks like you want it to. All right, I'm pretty much out of this. So I'm going to have to switch to my ColourPop concealer. This is the color Light 20. I really like their concealer. It's got a nice creamy texture. It has really good coverage. Typically, I'll apply that matte concealer, and then I'll just kind of spot treat some places with this just for a little bit of extra coverage. And it kind of brightens a little bit, so. Ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah. Okay, so I don't make a fool out of myself. Let's look at another question so I can talk as I'm blending out. Let's see. Oh, what do we got? I probably missed it. What's the name of the concealer? Oh, the Precious. Oh, my precious. It is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I wear the color NC25, but it looks like this. They also have a Pro Longwear Foundation, but I actually haven't used it yet. I haven't tried it, so I don't know how it compares. I really want to try it, though, because I'm always looking for a good, liquid foundation, I guess I should say. But yes, the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. It's fantastic. All right, let's see. Thank you, Sarah. Don't be afraid to chime in, you guys. Ask a question. Okay, well, this won't be easy while I'm doing this. What was your job before blogging? So when I first got a job, I was a cashier at Michael's, the craft store, because I do love to do craft projects and the like. I have also gotten into painting and stuff recently. I'm not a good drawer in the slightest. I can't draw, but for some reason when I paint, things turn out the way I see them in my head. I don't know how that happens, but it does. And I'm just going to roll with it. But anyway, I love crafting. So I figured I knew a lot of stuff about craft stuff, and I got a job at Michael's. That was like right out of high school. Usually I was so busy with extracurricular stuff, like I was in choir and drama and all that jazz, so I didn't have a lot of time for a job while I was in high school. So anyway, I did that, and I got promoted really fast to head cashier because I'm just cool like that. And then I became the event coordinator. So the crappy part about that job for me was that I had to get there hella early on Saturday, and I had to teach little children how to do craft projects. I'm a Taurus. I don't have that kind of patience. It wasn't all bad, but most of the parents, treated it like a babysitting thing. So they would drop these very tiny children off, like 4 years old, and just expect them not to get dirty and to have a good old time. And 4-year-olds just don't have that kind of patience, or they just can't do all that stuff. So a lot of that job was like prepping and coming up with ideas for stuff, and that part I liked. And I also got to make a lot of the demo products that you see around the store and stuff. That part I very much enjoyed, and I also enjoyed that I wasn't out there with all the people. because people get crazy at a craft store. I don't know if you know that, but they do. And the less I was around people, the better, because I would get super cranky and I had a hard time. Um, I guess I was pretty good at controlling my mouth because I never actually went off on anyone, but I would get super cranky. And that's not good in retail. I'm not like a total people person. I think I'm friendly, but I don't like crappy people. It was really hard when people are cranky and come at you for no reason, and you're like, lady, it's just a paintbrush. I don't know why you're so angry. Um, so that happened. And then after that, let's see, I moved to Boston. So I had some different jobs at hospitals around there. Like I got a job at Brigham and Women's Hospital, and so I worked in the orthopedic division and did reception and stuff. That also was not fun. I really liked the people that I worked with, but the doctors are terrible. And it's been long enough. I think I can tell you that and not get in trouble. It's not like I'm naming doctors' names, but they were awful. They just didn't care that people would come in for their appointment on time, and then the doctor would be 3 hours late. And so I'm constantly the one that has to tell people, I'm sorry, the doctor's not here yet. He's behind, or he had an emergency. No, he was playing golf, and he doesn't care that you've been here for 3 hours. Even though one lady had a metal halo in her head. These poor people. I was just always apologizing, and I hated it. So that was a job. And then I worked at an assisted living facility once I moved back here and in Washington. And I basically worked in the kitchen. I was a glorified dishwasher, but I also helped cook. And yeah, it was, again, I liked a lot of the people that I worked with. And I liked the people in the kitchen specifically. And I also liked the old folks. They were fun. It sucks that when someone has dementia and they don't remember things, but I would try to make it as fun as possible for them. So there was a table of ladies. Every morning, they would basically say the same thing to me. They would ask me my name. They would ask me how long I've worked there. They would ask all these questions. So I would come up with different answers. I would dance around. I dressed up for holidays. I had this giant bunny rabbit tail that I would put on the back of my uniform, and I'd jump around and shake around, and they loved it. They loved it so much, and it made me so happy when they were laughing. So that was pretty much what I did. I met Sean while I was working there, and by then the job was terrible. There was a lot of like inner stuff that was just not cool, and I quit because I could. And then I started focusing on blogging more. So that's just a little taste of the jobs that I've had. Because I'm doing we're switching really fast. Because I'm doing a powder foundation, I'm going to apply the liquid products first, and that includes my cream contour, which is actually the ColourPop concealer in Deep Tan 55. This is actually older from their first launch of it. That's how long it lasts for me. But it has a different name now. It's like a different number, but I think they still have the whole chart of what it used to be to what it is now on their website. But I use it as my cream contour. So I just put like a little smidge, and then I get a different sponge that's just for my contour color. I feel like I'm going to burp. I should never take my fish oil supplements before I do these videos for you guys, because I feel like maybe that's what's making me burp the whole time. My fish oil supplements. So it looks a lot darker on the camera than it does in person. I'll tell you that right now. But as we're doing our makeup, we're always kind of blending and making things better. So that's kind of what we're doing here. It's a work in progress, peoples. So we're just kind of buffing that out. You don't have to use a cream underneath. You could just use a bronzer, a contour. But I like this extra step because I feel like it just defines things a little bit more. I can also use what's left on the sponge to do a little bit of nose contouring if I want to. Just be a little bit careful with that. Sometimes I'll do a little bit under my lip, or I might do some along the chin, and you'll see when I actually go to do my contour where I apply all that stuff. So I'm going to let that, yeah, it's mostly dry. All right, cool. I'm going to go in with my powder foundation. Again, this is the MAC Studio Fix. I wear the same color as the concealer, which is NC25. And I am taking, this is a ColourPop F15 brush. It's basically just a flat kabuki brush, but it works really well with this foundation for me. I don't know why a Finn hair gets in here, but his hair is everywhere. There's constantly these giant, essentially dust bunnies of Finn hair, and I'm cleaning them up all the time. I'm always vacuuming. So I just kind of dab it. And because this is a powder foundation and it can be more drying, I found that really the less you apply, the better. So I basically concentrated on the areas of my face where I need more coverage. Again, for me, that's kind of my neck and around the edges because of the irritation and stuff. So I will just kind of start to press it in the areas I need more coverage and then kind of buff it out. And generally speaking, I don't usually go over that contoured area just so I can kind of keep the pigmentation from the contour there. But I'm just gonna buff out where I've placed it. And you can always add more, but it's hard to take some off. So that's what we're doing. I'm gonna start in those areas and I just kind of dab it and then we're gonna buff it out. But again, I do find that this foundation has really great coverage. For me, it was really great in a humid area. So if you live in a humid climate, I would definitely give this a try. I'm combined with a good primer and the Urban Decay waterproof powder for like touch-ups and stuff. It did really, really well in a very humid climate. All right, so I try to be a little more careful around the rest of my face and apply it as sparingly as I can. I still want everything to look cohesive, but I don't want things to get too dry and I don't want things to look too overdone. And the thing I like with this powder is it does blend out really easy, so it doesn't look built up or cakey, but you can kind of build it up in areas. Like I'd probably apply a little bit more there. We're just gonna sing a song while we do this. All right, so I'm like not dipping in as much as I'm going over the rest of my face. And I find this tends to work a lot better for me. I do have really oily skin, so when I touch up, I don't usually add more of this, although I do have one in my purse just in case. But I'll blot with a little, have a little flat beauty blender, so I'll kind of blot, and then if I need to kind of smooth things out, I'll use that Urban Decay, the waterproof powder. It's a new one. I have talked about it before on these videos, but I will use that to just kind of smooth anything out. But it actually holds up really well, and it gives, you know, some evenness there without being too crazy or too involved. Like I'm pretty much done. Let me get a little bit around there. Ta-da. So yeah, I mean, it's just made my whole routine so much easier. So I will make sure that all of that is buffed in. I'm kind of get close, especially like right here in between my eyebrows can get kind of weird looking. So I just want to make sure that everything is smooth and doesn't look cakey or anything. I have this these like natural lines here. Yeah, those started recently, but I think my foundation tends to crack right there where those natural lines are, and so I have to be a little more careful about buffing things out. And if your lip balm feels a little gunky, you can wipe it off there. All right, so when I'm done with that, I take another damp sponge. This is a Real Techniques one, and then I'm going to kind of dab all over. Now, because we're using a powder foundation, it can be kind of dry. And I like to go in with this damp sponge to just dampen things down. It adds a little bit moisture in there, and I feel that it definitely helps kind of blend everything together and make the foundation look more like my skin, like I'm not wearing too much makeup or anything, because that's kind of the look I'm going for. I want to look like I'm just naturally look like this, but even if I don't, I don't want people to know how much effort I've put into this, really, you know? Make them think that I woke up like this. Oh, it has such good coverage. I really, really love that. So, I don't, you probably can't see it on the camera, but this step, there's a little tissue or something. This step really, really helps in just kind of making everything look really natural and smooth and not caked on or anything. And I like that things are even, but we know what we did. Okay, so if I haven't gotten any sleep, if my under eye circles are bad, I will take this Laura Mercier brightening powder. This is the Secret brightening powder. I was close. And I'll take a little wedge sponge and I'll just put a little bit under my eyes. It helps to kind of camouflage dark circles a little bit, kind of brighten that area. You can put it anywhere where you need some brightness. Like I could put it on my nose, right above there, even on your chin. You can kind of do it up. I'm going to let that set for a moment. It helps. It helps. I used to use it a lot more when I used the liquid foundation because I would bake everything and have to powder everything, but I don't necessarily have to do that. So while that is sitting, I'm going to get started on my eyebrows. And actually, I think I forgot one of my eyebrow brushes. So, pardon moi. It's not a Haley video unless I forget something that I'm supposed to be doing. Oh my gosh, this is like taking a really long time, isn't it? Okay, so let's try to speed this up, which is never a good thing. See, when I'm talking and doing makeup at the same time, it takes forever. I don't know if you guys use the Marco Polo app, but I started using it with my friend Shayla. We mainly talk about new kids and Westlife and what we're doing and just things like that, like what's going on in our lives. We'll joke around and just check in with each other. It's a nice way to do it real fast. And, you know, it's not a phone call, but you can still kind of joke around and see the person, hear their personality. It's kind of like a private Instagram between you and your friend where it's only videos and the videos can be however long you want. That's how I would describe it, I guess. If that makes sense to you. Anyway, it's fun. And I forgot my point. Oh, but sometimes I'll be recording a Marco Polo video for her and doing my makeup at the same time, and then it takes forever. So I think most of the Get Ready With Me videos are on YouTube, and therefore they have been edited down to a manageable time. But guess what, you guys? I'm a yacker, and I don't know that anything's definitely a manageable time with me. So there's one eyebrow done, or done-ish. So this is the ColourPop Brow Boss pencil. This is the color Brunette. I just kind of go in and fill in and kind of shape my brows this way. I mean, it's mostly done, but there's a few other things I like to do. And I hope that you guys aren't bored. Please ask a question if you'd like to. And I will hit up my little list of questions in just a moment. Maybe I should do it now. Hold, please. All right. So what was my job? Oh, here's a quick one. Do you follow your heart or your head? Usually my head. I'm a very practical person. And when I was a kid, I was like, the heart's stupid. The heart doesn't know anything. The heart makes mistakes. It has to be your head. And I'm not really much of a risk taker, or at least I haven't been. So I would say I definitely go with my head, but I am learning more to go with my heart. And usually, that's the good stuff. That's the risks and the things that are really worth trying for when you follow your heart. And, I think to some degree I've always followed with my heart, but I think the head has been the one that's leading the pack, so to speak. So that was a great question. I enjoyed that. Let's see. If you were sent away to a deserted island and could only bring one companion, who would you bring? I mean, Sean. He's very smart and he's very cute. And I think we would be able to stay alive. At least he would try to keep me alive for a decent amount of time. But we might even, get off the island. I think he'd be the best bet. If I wanted entertainment, Mark Fahili would be great. But he'd probably be more like me in a lot of ways. And I would probably need someone that was, he can sing great, but I'd probably need someone that was not enough like me that we would actually get stuff done. And of course I would need someone who has some kind of skills at staying alive. Because I'm high maintenance, you guys, and I'm kind of bougie in a way, and surprise, surprise. And I don't have what they call the survival skills. So I would need help. That would not be good. Not in the slightest. And I wouldn't have my medication, I imagine. Because without a thyroid, like if there's a zombie apocalypse, I have to steal from pharmacies first. I'm just putting that out there because if I ran out of thyroid meds, I'd be dead in like a year. That's just it. Like, I don't have a thyroid, so I'd be, I'd not have a paddle. All right. I'm not trying to bring the thing down. We're staying positive here. Okay, so I do appreciate that question. Let's see, how did you meet Sean? Okay. Well, this is an interesting one. Oh. All right, let me get to doing this. So I was working at that assisted living facility I told you about. And a friend of mine, a coworker, they're still together. A friend of mine was dating a friend of Sean's. And I don't think I was their first choice to set him up, but they knew I was going through some stuff and decided they wanted to set me up with him. Well, another coworker got involved, and she was not great with the dates setting up. she had set me up on a blind date the previous year. It was the worst date I've ever been on. And so because she got involved, I was like, no, I'm not interested. I'm not going to do it. And they talked to me and they talked to me and they tried to get me. So this is the brow gel that kind of lightens things up. So they talked to me and tried to get me to go on a date with this guy. And they finally told me his name was Sean. And I was like, well, that's a nice name, but no. And I told them specifically, because she is involved and she does not listen to what I like or what I'm interested in. And we have proof of that. I'm not going to do it. Well, they showed him a picture of me and he thought I was real cute, but no matter how many times I asked, they couldn't get a picture of him for me. And again, I said no. So finally, they talked to me and they talked to me and they begged me and they begged me. And there was some kind of Cinco de Mayo parade or something. And so I agreed. I was like, fine, I'll go to this parade. I dropped my pencil. Hold on. I'll go to this parade. I'll meet this guy. It's not a date. I'm just meeting him. And we'll hang out as a group. I'm not going to be alone with him. I don't know him, yada, yada. So anyway, the parade got canceled. It got rained out or something. And I was like, okay, proof. I shouldn't meet this guy. This is like a sign. And I told them it was off. The deal was off. I wasn't going to meet this guy. And they kept talking to me and kept talking to me. And I got so sick of them harassing me about it that I finally agreed to meet him. So I think it was a couple months they worked on me to try to get me to meet him. So it was a blind date. I met him and I thought he was cute. And we were both really, really shy. We didn't speak. He barely spoke. I'm using the Balm Bahama Mama for my contour. And I was really bummed about that because that's just not what I wanted. I wanted someone that was more outgoing than me because I knew how shy I was and how much I didn't talk. And I didn't want that in a partner. So it was super awkward, you guys. The guy that my coworker was dating, he got drunk. Well, we all kind of got some level of drunk, but he was telling us to kiss and like pushing us together. And that was super awkward. And they set us out. It was a barbecue. They set us out on the porch and shut the sliding door and then just kind of watched us while we were eating, like we were fish in a bowl. And I kept trying to come up with questions to ask him to get him to talk. And it was difficult. I didn't think he was interested in me at all because he just wouldn't talk. So we did exchange emails and phone numbers, and he did call me a couple times, and I kept and then we started talking online. We started talking through Messenger, and we both felt more comfortable that way. So we would ask each other questions and we would have conversations and we got to know each other better. And so over the course of a couple of months, we would talk on Messenger like after work, and we got to know each other and we hung out with our friends together a few times, I think. And it's hard to talk and do my eyeliner at the same time. So yeah, and he would ask me out periodically, and I would say no because I didn't know him, and I wasn't sure if he even liked me. And he was persistent, and he was respectful, and we would still talk and try to get to know each other. And occasionally he would say, "Hey, do you want to go out?" And I'd say, "No, I don't know you well enough." And then finally I decided I'd go out with him. So then we went out, and he still didn't talk very much. And it took a while for him to talk. It was our third date. He still wasn't talking very much, and I was trying to ask questions, and I just got super frustrated. And I was like, you know what? This dude doesn't like me, and I'm just kind of sick of it. So I was going to go to the bathroom, and I told him, I was like, look, I'm going to go to the restroom. You have some time to think of some questions to ask me. And when I come back, you better ask me them. Because I'm not gonna like sit in silence. And that kind of helped push things in the right direction. He started talking a little bit more, and it worked out. So anyway, I am being so slow because I'm talking so much. But we are ready. Oh, I didn't do my bronzer. Okay. I'm using the Hourglass bronzer. This is the color Luminous Bronze Light. And I totally forgot about this step. Hi, Sharon. This is interesting. Oh, like interesting good, or like interesting you don't know what to think about it? I think I use the word interesting when I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about this. Anyway, yeah, I'm yapping and yapping while I'm doing my makeup. So hopefully it is actually interesting, but we'll see. All right, it is time to do my eyeshadow though. So we're getting there, which is, a plus. And so I guess this video is going to be a little longer than usual, but after the fact, if you want to go back and watch it and forward past some stuff, where is my ding dang brush? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so I apply the sort of skin colored powder down first so we can blend everything. And that's this step that I'm doing. Oh, about Sean. Yeah, he was so quiet. Was he always really quiet? I would like to know. You guys, Sharon is Sean's mom, so she has known him a lot longer than I have. And maybe she'll answer for us. Was Sean always a quiet child? Because he was hella quiet when I met him. I really thought he wasn't interested in me. I even asked him a couple times, like, do you even like me? Do you actually want to date me? Because you don't seem like you're into it. And I know he's in the other room and he can hear everything I'm saying, so that makes it funny to me that he's listening, but he's also being very quiet. That's what he does. All right. Trying to get all my brushes together. Okay, so I'm going to be using my new Colored Rain eyeshadows. This is all the individual ones that I have purchased. They had a big sale over like New Year's Eve and such. So I think these are $5-ish each, but they were on sale for like $1.60. They are a Black-owned beauty brand, and I've been trying to get different products from more Black-owned companies because I would like to do a big post about the products from those companies and just to kind of talk about them, especially when they're indie brands and such. So these colors are really, really pretty. They're very pigmented. Let's swatch some here for a minute. My hands are a little dirty, but even the mattes are really great. So let's look at that. Oh my god, they're really really beautiful. They have a very silky feel to them. They remind me of the Makeup Geek foiled shadows, if you've tried those. Let me swatch these individually for you. So there they are swatched on the hand. Just very pigmented, very smooth. They blend really, really well. So while I will swatch everything completely in the swatch video that we're doing later on, I did want to use these for this video. That green is kind of calling to me, actually. Look at that green. All right, I might do a green eye, you guys. I'm feeling green. Feeling it, feeling it. Oh, what does Sharon say? She says, not exactly. I think he was very interested in you. Well, you were right. Turns out you were right. You knew. I just didn't know for a little bit. So, all right, I'm going in with the color. Let's see if I can tell you what color it is. This is Angel Face. Ooh, it's scary taking them out. What is that? All right. So this is going to be our transition color. I'm going to try to speed this up, but at the same time, you can't rush perfection. And that's totally me making fun of myself. So, you know, it is what it is, you guys. But hopefully you'll be able to see how these colors apply and blend. They're just, oh God, they're so pretty. I feel like they just need even more colors. And I do have some palettes, some different palettes on the website. Again, they're called Colored Rain, COLOURED, and then Rain with an E, like Rainn Wilson. So, do you guys love The Office as much as I do? I freaking love The Office. It is one of my favorite shows of all time. If I had to pick like my absolute favorite shows, it'd be The Office, My So-Called Life, Roswell, Outlander, of course. Shoot, yeah, I want to know y'all's favorite TV shows. Let me know. Speak up. All right. What's the next color? I'm going to go in with that mid-tone brown. I'm going to use this one. All right, this is the color Gingerbread. That is the one the one that I swatched for you guys. Okay, I have to be careful. There we go. It is a much warmer mid-tone brown color. Generally speaking, of course, I bought all these shades that I would normally wear so I can kind of compare them to colors and shadows that I have already. I do like this color because it's not over the top. It's not too kind of yellow toned, but it is a warmer shade. I see I have an eyelash on my cheek. Oh, they just blend so good that I don't have to like work too hard at it, which is pretty freaking amazing to me. I have an eyelash on my cheek. All right, let me look at some other questions so I can yak. If you're stressed, how do you deal? Well, I deal by being friggin' stressed. I'm not the best at it, although I'm getting better. I think the things that work the best for me in dealing with stress are to talk about it. Even just a friend, like to acknowledge that I'm stressed out and why. And if I want to try to, not think of it or something, if it's something I just need to ignore for a little bit, dancing is great. I love to put on music and dance around or sing really loud. For me, crafting and painting and that kind of thing help a lot with stress. Laughing, watching something that's funny, that makes me happy, is very helpful too. Petting my dogs. And sometimes you just have to cry it out, Sometimes you just have to do it. This dark color is chocolate, appropriately enough. And it's friggin' gorgeous. I don't know if you guys want me to zoom in a little bit. Let's see. So you can see how these things apply. But yeah, so that's kind of how I do it. Acknowledge it, talk about it, go shopping, dance, sing. I even like to dance and sing while I'm shopping. The ladies at My Lane Bryant are awesome, and there's usually some good music on in there. and I love to dance around and sing in the store. I'll do it. I mean, especially if my jam comes on. For me, whenever a Backstreet Boys song comes on, that means I'm supposed to be there. It means that everything is happening as it should be. Like I'm supposed to be in that place at that time. So I just roll with it, which is also a Backstreet Boys song. Roll with it. That's what you gotta do. Roll with it. If you know that one, hi, you're a Backstreet fan like me. I'm so excited. Their new album comes out next Friday, the 25th. I love their song Chances. At first I was like, this is good, but okay. And the more I listen to it, the more I love it. So yes. Okay, so I'm also going to use chocolate on one of these little angled brushes. It's supposed to be for eyebrows, but a trick that I found is if you just put a little bit of the darker shadow. Oh, I really messed that up, didn't I? We'll get to that. Put a little bit of the darker shadow at just this edge of your eyes. And it helps with the shape, and it helps your eyelashes blend better into everything. If you mess up like I just did, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You can go back in and blend it out. Is that the right one? You got to keep your brushes in order, which is not what I just did. I'm glad I'm mostly not yakking when I do my makeup, or it would take me way longer, than it actually does. See, I'm still burping fish oil. Gross. I shouldn't take those before I do one of these. So, I mean, look how great those shadows blend. It is just like bananas to me. They blend so well. I mean, shadows that I've had before that I thought blended well do blend well, but these are spectacular. All right, I'm going to go in a little bit with some Angel Face and gingerbread that we use on the crease, and I'm just going to run that under my eye. It's not perfect. It's not like super defined, but I just need a little bit of that color right under there. Okay. Let's keep going. I still have questions that I haven't gotten to. Okay, hold on. That was about stress. I think I covered that. Best ways to shop on a budget. Okay, I can talk about that. I use Ebates, which is a website that you can sign up for, and there's like an extension. So when you go to a website, and there's a whole bunch of websites that they work with, I'm gonna have to apply more lip balm. You get a percentage back, and the only extra thing that you have to do is just make sure that it's logged into Ebates. And I've actually saved a lot of money using that. Otherwise, signing up for the companies, whatever company it is, whatever brand or whatever that you're interested in, signing up for their newsletters, following them on social media so you know about flash sales and the like. That's a really great thing to do. I'm trying to decide what I'm doing next, you guys. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to go into my inner corner. This is the color Clutch Pearls. I declare. I'm going to do my inner corner this way. And this is another color pop blush, the E10. So I'm just doing that. Boom. Sharon says, the shadows look gorgeous. How many colors did you use? I'm up to, well, not counting the Urban Decay one that looks like my skin. I have used 3, and then this is 4 from Color Drain. So I usually do the flesh tone one so everything can blend, but I mean, these blend so well on their own, I probably didn't need to do that step, but I like to do it anyway because I just feel like it creates a nice smooth canvas. So then we just gotta blend that out. And then I'm gonna use this other MAC brush. It's just like a fluffy angled brush to do my brow bone. So it's the same color, Clutch Pearls. So I usually apply that and then start working it, blending it out. Oh, yeah. So shopping on a budget. Yeah, and so make sure that you get all the coupons you can. If there's an app, you could download that because sometimes they'll have special deals and things. I also end up checking different sites like Poshmark and eBay, ThreadUp, that kind of thing, to see if there's something specific. That green is still calling me. I want to know what this color. That's like a lighter, ooh, okay. All right, I'm going to go in with Champagne Life, and we are going to do that on sort of the inner corner of the eye. Oh, hi, Rebecca. How's it going? I'm still at it. It takes a while, these videos. I'm not good at editing videos. That's why I haven't done YouTube. But I'm sure sometimes people want to see less of me in these things. So this is the color Champagne Life. We're just going to brighten up that inner corner a bit. It's almost like a golden, it seems like it has like a slight green tint to it. So that's super cool because we're going to go with a green eye, which is a little bit different for me. I usually stick with these neutral nude tones, but we're going to go with it. All right, so I'm going in with this green color, which is called Side of Olives. And I'm going to use a different brush and go in with that. So, ooh, that's pretty. It's not quite as dark as I thought it would be when I purchased it, but it is a gorgeous color. So that's going to kind of get applied over the Champagne Life, and don't be too worried about blending out the edges right now. We kind of just want to apply the shade, and then we'll worry about it in a minute. I forgot to check the camera to make sure you could see what I'm doing, but it looks like you can. Yeah, see, because I kind of jacked that up right there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of color till I'm happy. I'm happy, I think. Wasn't that Pharrell that did that song? I'm happy. I think it was. I think it was Pharrell, you guys. When he was wearing his crazy hat all the time. Is he still wearing that crazy hat? I haven't seen him in a while. Pharrell. I don't know if he's still wearing the crazy hat. So I'm just going to go back over the edges and darken them up a little bit because I like that extra depth. And we're just kind of blending the darker color into the green that we have just applied. Doesn't take a whole lot with these. Like, these blend so well. I am just bananas about these shadows. I love them to pieces. They're so great. Sometimes if you have a little bit of fallout, which there doesn't look like there's a lot, but I just kind of with a brush. So I think that's good for the eyes, actually. As far as the eyeshadows go, I feel like the inner corner could use a little bit of help. Maybe right There, that's balanced. There we go. Boom. Boom. That's all it needed. That's what it needed, you guys. Okay, so we're getting towards the finish line. Oh, hey! I just saw your comments, Rebecca. Why isn't this scrolling? Hold on. Let me. Oh, see, the laptop isn't doing it anymore. Okay, Rebecca, they are Colored Rain. I did buy the individual ones versus the palettes. They are gorgeous. They're so pigmented. They're so like creamy, silky feeling. They blend amazingly well. They remind me of the Makeup Geek foiled shadows, if you've ever used those, because there's just this like great feel to them. They're lightweight, but they're super pigmented. Oh, they're just gorgeous. I will do, like, when I do a swatch video later on, I'll be swatching all of those. And I also bought a mini Natasha Denona palette, and those are great too. Of course, the big palettes are like 130, but I got the mini one that's 25. But those are really, really great. So I'll be swatching all of that in a future video. This is the IT Cosmetics eyeliner in the color Highlight. I just do my inner rim to brighten my eyes, make me look a little bit more awake, because, girl, my thyroid ain't playing. And then I'm going to go in with the Stila marker liner. Rebecca says, looks great. I'm the worst at eyeshadow application. Girl, it just takes practice. That's all. I find that the right brushes, too, can really make or break it. You know, there are some brushes that just don't do what you want them to do. I really like the Royal and Langnickel brushes. I think you can only get them online as far as I know, but they work really well. And I have liked the ColourPop brushes that I've used also, but yeah, it's just like a matter of kind of trying different things with different brushes and really just practicing as far as blending and such. These Colored Rain ones blend really well. Like, I don't have to work that hard at it. They just go together and work with each other so well that it's not a hassle. Because sometimes it can be a hassle. I'm just going to use my, let's see, the one I did the Urban Decay on. I'm just going to kind of diffuse those edges because we don't want like a full-on line. We do want it to look really seamless. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to zoom you out so I can do the rest of my face. Ooh, that goes in. All right. Again, I am Ravenclaw if you're just joining us. I was sorted, and I'm happy with Ravenclaw. All right, now I'm going to do my mascara real quick. This part always needs a little bit of extra zhuzhing. I'll look at my list of questions so I can answer more, especially when we're letting our mascara sit for a minute. Okay, let's see. What did we talked about shopping on a budget. Yes. Ooh, girl, I'm gonna have to save some of these. I'm a talker and then I don't get anything else done. Oh, so someone wanted to know, they just went from blonde hair to dark brown hair, and they wanted to know what shadows they should experiment with. Now, I love me some great nudes, but I will say, I think like dark blues and greens, purples are really, really awesome shadows for dark hair. And I know for my brown eyes, if I do kind of a darker burgundy color, it makes my eyes look lighter. And I think using a purple shadow kind of makes my eyes pop a little more too. So really, I mean, any color would be great. But if you're used to not doing a lot of color with your eyes and you want to try something new, I'd say, yeah, purple, green, those are really easy to find too versus some of the other colors. And not all burgundy shades are made the same. Some are really, really red, and that doesn't look good on me in particular. It kind of makes me look like a zombie, just like I have bloodshot eyes or something. So yeah, you just kind of play with the tones and see what works best for you. But I'd start with green and purple. Also because I know who asked that question, and I think she would be really into the green and purple. It would look great on her. So, all right. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What's your favorite thing about yourself? So I am doing, this week I'm doing a, it's called Vision 2019. It's by this life coach, Coach Colleen, and I learned about it from Authentically Emmy. She is doing this kind of reflection of 2018, moving into 2019. And I've been doing that this week. And one of the things yesterday was about like your favorite things about yourself. Like you had to write a letter to yourself as an admirer of yours. And I don't know, let's see. I was trying to think of what was on my list. I'm determined. I'm not always like a go-getter or the most productive person all the time, but I am determined. And there's like, if I want something, I do what I have to do to get it. And I just keep moving forward. And I think that's something that I'm using. The blush palette, by the way. This is the color Team Spirit, which is my favorite one. It's like this sort of brown mauve color. And I think also, I've never been the most hopeful person, but I keep a certain amount of hope alive for things that I really, really want. And typically, eventually they happen. It may not be in my timeline the way I want it to happen, but eventually they do. And I don't know why that is, but I think it's just because I hold out for hope that it's going to happen. And I take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves to like move forward in that way to make those things happen. So that would be my answer, I guess. I'm determined, and I keep going, keep moving forward. And there's been a lot of crap that's happened to me in my life. And I'm glad that it hasn't made me a horrible person or like a hateful person. I'm glad that I'm still happy and kind and helpful and loving to people. So that would be my answer for that. That was a really great question, and I really appreciate that. I forgot who asked that question. All right, so I am going to try to move forward with this. So that was our blush. We just did our blush. I am doing my highlighter right now, which, oh, there's my highlighting brush. I thought I forgot it. This is the Becca. Ooh, girl, that's powdery today. It's the color Opal. I haven't used it in a while, so I thought I would use it for this video. Ooh, that's powdery. I don't know why it's so powdery today. Ooh, she's highlighted. It is such a silky fine powder. Oh my gosh, I forgot how much I love this one. I've been using those Stila ones lately. And ooh, they're shiny. I love it. I love being shiny. So you guys, I think that I should be, as much as I hate the show, Nailed It, I think I should be on the show. I think Nicole and I should get drunk before, Nicole Byer, she's the host. I think we should get drunk before the show and then judge people. I hate that show because I don't think people should be rewarded for not doing things right. But if they were going to pay me, I would be on the show and I would tell people what I thought. So I'm just smoothing that highlight out. I'm just kind of blending it in. And you know what? I never actually diffused my contour. That's why it's so kind of garish. It didn't look as garish in person as it does on the video. Ooh, yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to use my other little beauty blender. This is the Stila highlighter. It's kind of a bouncy cream This is the color Kitten, and I'm just gonna pop it on a little bit. It's a little more pink toned, which I didn't have one that was pink toned until I bought this one. And I actually got the color Incandescent, which I think you can only get at Sephora, and it's a little bit more pink toned. It's kind of a peachy pink. So there we go, we're highlighted, and we don't need that blush because we are blushed. All right, I'm almost done. So then I go in with my ambient lighting powder. This is from Hourglass. This is the color Dim Light. It's not as sparkly as Luminous Light, so it's a little bit more toned down, but it does give you a nice finish. And I do that all over my face. And for me, this step blends all of my makeup together. It makes things look a little more diffused and natural. It diffuses some of my sort of flawed areas, that kind of thing. And I really feel like it's just this great step that if I forget it, I make sure that I do it, because I feel like it just does exactly what I need it to do. It has the effect that I want, where it just kind of makes everything kind of glowy and pretty, and just really kind of seamlessly blends everything. And sometimes that step means I need to add a little bit more blush, because I like to look like I'm just slightly embarrassed. I think that's cute. But everybody has their own preference about how much blush they like. So if you don't like it that much, that's totally fine. You do you, girl. So that's our makeup. Like we made it. We made it to the end. It only took me a hell of a long time. I do have a few other questions, but I'll save those for another day, because apparently I just yak too much for my own good. So I'm going to add a lipstick. This is Belle from the Disney collection from ColourPop. This is their Luxe lipstick. Actually, let me take off my lip balm. I'm just going to smooth things around my mouth a little bit, make sure everything's cool, and then we're going to apply this lipstick. I did end up going over my lip just a smidge. I shouldn't talk and do this at the same time. I really shouldn't. Does everybody squint that one eye when they're doing the lipstick? It's not just me, right? Boom. Belle. Bonjour. 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 I'll sing the whole song. There goes the baker with his trailer. Every morning just the same. It's the morning that we came to this poor provincial town. Good morning, Belle. Good morning, monsieur. I'll keep doing it. All right, that's my Skindinavia finishing spray. This is the bridal formula, which is very similar to the all-nighter spray from Urban Decay. So then I just kind of clean up. Like I said, I have to add extra product and stuff on my neck because I have to shave and such. And so I just like to clean up the edges and make sure everything's pretty seamless. Ooh, I really got my hair with that spray, you guys. Whew. So I tend to let that dry, usually air dry. This is the point in time where I would go do my hair. So I would use my my blow dryer to kind of speed that along. And then once it's dry, I'll go in with a clean sponge. And if I need to add a little bit more spray, boom, I will. It just makes things last a lot longer. I'm just kind of speeding this up for you guys. I really like this green shadow. It's not something that I would normally do, but it's not like all up in your face. It's not like a crazy color. And it is really, really pretty. So once the spray is dry, I just kind of go back in and dab everything and blend. Be careful about your lipstick because it will get on the sponge and then it'll get on your face. And then you'll say, oh my God, everything's ruined. And girl, it's not, but you will think it. And I know this because that girl is me. It's been done. So that's it. We've done it. I'm going to see if my bangs will act right. Not really. I'm going to have to go fix them. But here's our makeup. I think it looks great. It definitely looks good in my mirror. I am happy with it. And I really, really like these shadows. I hope that you guys had fun. I know it was a really long time. Such is the getting ready with me because I'm yakking, I'm talking, I'm doing all of this stuff. I'm slow. I'm talking straight to you and not doing anything. It happens. This is unedited. It's real. It's life. And it's me. So anyway, I hope you guys had fun. I did really enjoy this. I hope that we can do it again. And let's see, next week, I don't think we'll be doing a Facebook Live because I have to prep for my K2 segment and Sean's work party, which I have to get all fancy for. So I'll be prepping for that. The following week, we will have unboxing of January boxes. My Ipsy Glam Bag came this week. It is amazing. The Glam Bag Plus, I should say, with the full-size products. Oh my God, there's such good stuff in there. I'm going to do like a full face of most of that stuff to show you. Excuse me. And the following week after that, we will do all the swatches of all the new stuff. I may have new stuff by then. I have a problem. It's called I Love Makeup. And we'll just have a ton of stuff to swatch and chat about. Sharon said beautiful as usual. Thank you very much. Mwah. I appreciate that. And Rebecca said, I like it. I'll have to look into that final step. Oh, yes, girl. Oh, my God. The Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. I use the color Dim Light for every day, but the Luminous one has a little bit of like a glitteriness to it. It's gorgeous. I used to use that every day, but then everybody was saying, oh, you're like glittering. And I thought it was a little too much. So I'll use that at night. And then they have different colors. So they have Moonlight, which is a little bit more lavender. And then they have one that's a little more yellow toned. So it just depends on what works for you. Dim Light is pretty neutral, but it still has that really pretty sheen, and it really is so silky and fine, and it really blends everything so good. Ever since I started using this, people have been commenting on how, my skin looks amazing and all this stuff. If I don't use it, I notice the difference. That's why I make sure that I use it. They do have little ones, so this is the big one, and they are kind of expensive. I think it's $45 for the big one, and you can get a smaller one that is $25. So if you just want to like try it, you could get the mini, because the mini comes in most of the colors, I believe. And I usually get those at Sephora. So there is all of that spiel. Hourglass Ambient. Okay, yeah, I'll totally message you that. I'll go right after this. Of course, I have to take some selfies and do all that fun stuff, but I will message you and let you know the name of it, and send you a link because technology. All right, so you guys, I've yacked your ears off. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really, really enjoyed it. We will have to do this again. And I hope that you had fun. So I will check you later. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you have a great Friday, and do some fun stuff. Look pretty while you're doing it. You don't have to wear makeup to look pretty, but in case you want to wear makeup, you totally can. Try some new things. Just have fun with it. So anyway, I'll shut up and I'll let you guys go. And I will talk to you later.